Now, Brigadier, let's return then to A225 because I was taking you through your statement A225 in support of the application for the J50 warrant of arrest in terms of Section 43 for Ms. Nontlanta Kelly Khumalo.
Correct, my lord.
And on Friday, when we stopped, we were at the question of the transparent plastic bag with note of money in it, wherein I asked you, did you ascertain the source of that photo from the trio of people that you say this is a common denominator in their downloads? Remember that?
I do recall, my lord.
And the point really that I was making is this. Here is a picture common to three people that are unknown to each other. That required examination, people being asked, where does it come from? Who's the source of this picture? Explain this money in this bag. And that was never done. That's the essence of what I was putting on Friday.
Yeah, so my lord, my recollection on Friday, we were dealing with the issue with the same plastic bag in relation to accused number 3. That's why it was specific because we had gone past Ms. Kelly Khumalo and Longwest. So it was centered around accused 3 as to whether on the day, and that's what I recall, that on the day when we went to measure or when he was measured, what was this question put forward? I know Mr. Advocate Mnisi was interested in that regard as to whether he was asked, this is now Advocate Mnisi's client, about the bag or not. That's where we were. And I can answer it in this way, my lord. Let me just deal with it now. So the sequence of events followed like this because they're important in terms of the answer that I will give, my lord. On the 16th of June 2020, accused number 2 gets arrested for the Wanongoma case. Then on the 19th of June, he makes a statement, the first confession that he makes to Lieutenant Colonel Rappard. And for the first time on the 16th of June, the name of accused 3, I'll just focus on accused 3, comes up for the first time. Yes, my lord. Now, 2-3 days later, then the second confession is made to the magistrate. That is the 24th of June 2020. What is prudent to note, my lord, is that prior to these 2 dates, we did not have the downloadings of accused 3 because he was not on site. The people that were analyzed was accused 1 and 2, and then when we got to 2, then accused 3's name comes up on the 19th and the 24th. So then the analysis starts in terms of identifying as to who is this Carlos Buthelezi that is being referred to. And then it leads us now to accused number 3. This is where, my lord, we then established that he was incarcerated for the Cleveland case. This is now the possession of a firearm under Cleveland case 96 of 2015. And that is where the firearm involved in this matter, or that was used in this matter, is alleged that was found in his possession, and the cell phones that were taken back in 2015. So these events kicks in around that period of late June 2020. Then on the 30th, my lord, specifically, this is now 6 days after Mrs. Grenier took the confession, 30th of June 2020. That's when accused number 3 was interviewed by me and measured by Colonel Mangena. So it's 6 days after the last confession, and it is before the downloadings analysis picked up the see-through bag from his phone and the report given back to me. The first statement, my lord, that I recall receiving from the downloader, where this bag and other contents, including the firearms and the photos that we dealt with, my lord, my recollection is that it came to my attention on the 17th of August 2020. That was after we interviewed the accused number 3 in prison, and it was after he was measured. And then after the downloads were provided to us, my lord, those downloads were forwarded to Kenneth Stein, who is an analyst. He is the one then who was able to pick up this common denominator, but this is after the interview. And my lord, as to why we will not have gone back, because the question may arise as to why then couldn't you go back, the answer lies on the response. And that's why I was saying, when we interview accused 3, there are certain assertions that he went to, and in fairness to him, I even said to Mr. Ramsipilo, do you want me to go there? Because I know the consequences of going there. There are certain assertions he made in terms of how we must engage moving forward in the warning statement. And because of that, I could not go back to him. It's there in the warning statement, my lord.
Okunye futhi ke ukuthi ke uma ngikhulumisana naye ke ngenhlolo khona naye ke ingakho ke bengingafengibuzileke kuyena ke Mr. Msipili uyafisa yini ukuthi ngiye khona lapho ngoba kunezinto ezithileke azisho ke ingakho ngakaze ngabuyelanga kuyena ke kukhona ke lokho lapho yana kuyona i-warning statement.
That is the essence of the answer, my lord.
I initially wanted to do this video about Kelly Khumalo and Uzandi Khumalo's text messages, which I owe you, and I want to give a woman's perspective of those text messages. But so I went back to this clip and I said, wait a minute, let's first talk about this. Let's first talk about this application for the warrant of arrest for Kelly Khumalo and this peculiar interaction between Ramasipili and Brigadier Gininda, where Ramasipili does not get to ask his question, but Brigadier Gininda goes through the sequence of events which are important to his answer. And then I say so I rewind, I said, you know what, I must have missed Ramasipili's question. Ramasipili didn't even get to finish his sentence. He was cut off by the brigadier. And, I was about to say by the good brigadier, and I was also about to say the mere policeman, and it reminds me of a comment that I received. So I want to say to you, if you are new to this channel, one thing that this channel will do is use comments that are used in the courtroom and apply them in my videos and turn a comedic spin to it. I just didn't think I needed to introduce the topic, but if you're not following the live proceedings, then you won't understand the relevance. For example, my lord references, unless I'll be accused of colluding with the state. And only if you had watched that initial interaction between my lord and Ngomezulu would you know what my lord is talking about. So if you're just suddenly joining the case now, you will be lost in translation. I got a comment from someone who was overly upset. They were so upset that I called the brigadier a mere policeman. You see, sometimes you show your ignorance in your comments when you think you're trying to humiliate me and tear me down, but instead you're humiliating yourself and showing your ignorance and the fact that you're not really following the case. I am not the author of the words a mere policeman. He is just a policeman. Let me know in the comment section if you know who said those words. I, however, will find it comedic and will steal. Yes, I will. I will steal those words and then incorporate them here and there when I'm giving commentary on this channel, just to jog everyone's memory and make sure that we're all kept abreast and that we remember, these small little comments that become relevant as the case proceeds. Again, I will highlight when the judge points out colluding. You can only know that if you remember when Ngomezulu said it. I hope that clears up any confusion, especially if you're new to the channel. But to those of us who are used to the flow of things, let's get into it. So, Brigadier Gininda, this policeman, yes, lead investigator, he suddenly starts talking about, no, Ramasipili, we were talking specifically about accused number 3. We were done talking about Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. We were now talking about accused number 3. And I need to give you the sequence of events which are important to my answer. Brigadier, what answer? Because there's no question. Ramasipili hasn't asked his question. But anyway, now that he went through that whole tedious exercise of giving us the sequence of events, I actually got a lot of questions out of that full paragraph that he gave. Or should I say thesis? So this is what he said. He said, on the 16th of June, 2020, accused number 2 is arrested for the Nongoma case. Okay. And then on the 19th of June, that's the first confession that accused number 2 gave to Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu. And that's when the first time the name of accused number 3 comes up, Carlos Buthelezi. Okay. And the 24th of June, accused number 2 then makes a second confession, and this time it is with Magistrate Cronje. Okay? Now, a few days later, still in June, but the late days of June, he's not really sure which day it is, then they find accused number 3 is incarcerated for firearms in the Cleveland case. The firearm that was used to end SENZO MEYIWA's life. See, when he did the timeline, you see, the SENZO MEYIWA incident occurred on the 26th of October 2014. That's 6 years before Bongani Ntanzi was arrested. But after Bongani Ntanzi was arrested, within 6 days, they have found the firearm in the Cleveland database. And that firearm was used by accused number 3, Mr. Mncube, the client for Umnisi, who is taking the stand, who's going to start cross-examining the brigadier on Thursday. I find this really so coincidental that I bumped into this information. So within 6 days of Bongani Ntanzi's arrest, you have found the firearm. And then you call Colonel Mangena and say, Mangena, let's meet at the Cleveland police station. And I want you to take the firearm at the Cleveland police station. And while we're there, let's also go to accused number 3 and interview him and also take his measurements. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? Is that not too coincidental? Or did this really happen in this order? That Bongani Ntanzi actually cracked the case, the SENZO MEYIWA case that nobody could solve before Opsalom Zungu and Zungu Jr. came along with their Nganegwane. But then then he says on the 30th of June, that's when he interviewed accused number 3 with Colonel Mangena. And then on the 17th of August, 2020, and he struggles to say the 17th of August, and then he ends up saying 17 August, after saying 17 August. That's when they get the downloads of the transparent bag. And then those downloads are then sent to Colonel Stein, who then makes the linkages of the plastic bags to Unanhlanhla Kelly Kumalo and accused number 5. So my question to you guys is, was Brigadier Gininda flying the plane while still building it? It seems to me things are coming along as they're building the aircraft. They're already flying, okay? They've already arrested Bongani Ntanzi, and now they need to find these extra characters in this movie. And then so that they make sure that they tie them really nicely and neatly with the bow to this movie, they find an incarcerated individual who used a firearm, which in this case is not a revolver, but doesn't matter. Colonel Mangena is going to make the story fit in really well with the cartridges that are not of a revolver. Are you still following me so far? And then from then, let's insert a transparent plastic bag to tighten this Nganegwane really well. And then my question becomes, why is Kelly Kumalo suddenly being thrown under the bus? Why did Kelly Kumalo need to be the mastermind in this Nganegwane? Okay? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And then next video, we'll be talking about Kelly Kumalo and Uzandi's, text messages, or should I say WhatsApp messages to each other, because I think those are even more interesting. Let me know what you guys think of this timeline, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the things that make me happy. And, I'm jumping to the next video to edit, so you know how the closing goes. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Mzansi Unfiltered, checking out. Catch you on my next upload.
My lord, that's it.
Yeah.